Hello, book connectors. Welcome back to the Book Connection. I am your host, Blue-Eyed Black Devil, and guess what? This time I'm back with a surprise. So, I have a little confession to make before I reveal what my surprise is. Let me tell you this much. I haven't posted a segment about in this feature since September the 15th, 2025. I am ashamed, I must say. I haven't posted in over 6 months. Why? Because other than my telling the story of the books I've read, this feature probably got more feedback than anything else I could have done on this channel. And by that, some of you may already know what it is. But for those of you who don't, I am here to revise or revamp, rather, my About the Author segment here on the Book Connection. So I told you all when I finished the Loretta Lynn videos and book that I was supposed to start reading the second book in the 7 Deadly Sins series by Victoria Christopher Murray and sometimes collaborator Rashonda Tate Billingsley. She is the collaborator on the book Envy. That's the second book in the series. I posted my video for Lust, I don't know, probably about a month or so ago now. But anywho, somewhere along the way, I haven't figured out yet, but I came across this book, and the title is Brothers and Sisters. And I thought, that sounds interesting. Let me see. Let's have one quick see if there's something I want to add to my wish list. And I liked the annotation and the story and all of that. And so I got caught up reading that. And I think I have about another couple of hours left in that book. But when I was trying to decide who I wanted to feature for About the Author, I just kept thinking, I was like, well, I never heard of Brothers and Sisters before. Let me see who the author is. And I go, never heard of this person, Bebe Moore Campbell. So, oh well, she's just as good as anyone else. So, that's who I am featuring in this week's or this segment, rather, of About the Author. It's going to be Miss Bebe Moore Campbell. Before I start, let me go back and rephrase something I just said a minute or so ago. When I said Bebe Moore Campbell is just as good as anybody else, what I should have said is what I believe and mean, which is not only is she good, but she deserved every bit of the white hot spotlight she received here on earth, and hopefully she is resting peacefully. She was a very gifted person, and it reflects in her body of work. So I wanted to go ahead and clear that up, because typically speaking, I don't waste time on things and people that I am not interested in. The only way I'm going to do that, I have to be getting rewarded. I have to either be getting a grade or being paid. But, since this is my leisure time, I know I tend to just do things that bring me joy. Now, with all of that being said, let's move right along to the telling of our About the Author spotlight, which is, again, Miss Bebe Moore Campbell. So who was Bebe Moore Campbell? Well, she was a wife, a mother, a journalist, an author, and tireless advocate for people suffering with mental health issues. Now, Bebe Moore was born Elizabeth Bebe Moore on February 18th, 1950 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. the only child of parents Doris and George Moore. Her parents were well educated at the time. That, I guess it was uncommon to see upwardly mobile black people back then, whatever, in the 50s and stuff. But her parents were. Now, in 1972, Bebe graduated from the University of Pennsylvania with a degree, or the University of Pittsburgh, which also obviously is in Pennsylvania. She graduated with a degree in early childhood education. She taught school for 5 years between Pennsylvania and Georgia. 1970, she marries for the first time. She married a former football player whose name is Campbell. I don't know who he played for, but I think he was a professional football player. After his football career ended, though, he went to school and became an architect. And so he traveled the world. Well, their marriage, Bebe and Tico's marriage, ended in 1979. Now, 1977, they became the proud parents of their only child, actress Maya Campbell. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, but I know it's spelled Miai. I should have tried to hear her pronounce her own name, but yeah, Maya Campbell. I don't know anything about her, but from what I've seen, just since I came across and discovered that Bebe was her mother, it seems that she had, well, I'm speaking now of Maya. She herself she was on the path to success, and some people probably would say that she was very successful. But she was on some show called In the House. It was a sitcom starring LL Cool J and actress and dancer choreographer Debbie Allen. I think I vaguely remember that show, but I didn't watch it. And then I never really heard anything else about Maya. After that, though, she went on and she starred in some movie called, is it Trippin'? Yeah, Trippin' is the name of that movie. And so, but unfortunately, Maya ended up being diagnosed. I think maybe it was like 1997 or 98. So she was like 19, 20, possibly 21 years old. But she was eventually diagnosed with bipolar disorder. People noticed things about her not quite adding up. And if Maya ever said anything, she just didn't know how she felt or why she felt the way she was feeling. Well, along with the diagnosis, I'm not exactly sure if she got on drugs before she was found to have it, but she most definitely went down through there. Now, I do remember back in the 2010s seeing clips after I found out who Bebe Moore Campbell was in that name, because I've never heard anyone say the name Maya until Bebe's daughter. So I was like, yeah, is this the one they were saying that was strung out pretty bad? And they were, they had some very unflattering footage of her doing things, and all of it was, attributed to the drugs and the bipolar disorder. Now, she even appeared on Iyanla Vanzant's Fix My Life. And I don't think it went over too well. I'm not sure because I didn't watch that show. But I don't want to make it all about Maya. I want to go back to her mom. 1984, Bebe marries for the second time. This time she marries a man named Ellis Gordon Jr. Now, she bought Maya to the second marriage, and he bought his son, Ellis Gordon III, to their marriage. And I think by profession, he was a banker. He was there whenever Maya started having her trouble, and he stood there with her all the way through whatever it is they were going through. Now, like I said, Bebe and Elvis were married in 1984. Now, as far as Bebe's parents, somewhere along the way, they got a divorce. And when that happened, Bebe would spend the school months in Pennsylvania being raised by her mother and grandmother. But in the summertime, and they were real strict on Bebe. But in the summertime, she would always go down to Georgia, where her father was more laid back. And I think at that time he had moved in with his mother. Now, in 1977, the year Maya was born, her father was in an accident and it left him paralyzed for the rest of his life. Now, it is said that she was okay with her dad, so that means that, let me see, how old was Bebe when that happened? Oh, okay. She was like 26, 27 when it happened. Now, I don't know what she was told or when or why she was told, but yeah, she knew that her dad was paralyzed from a car accident. But one of those articles I read said that she was okay with it until she found out that he was the reason for the accident. Now, I don't know if they made up before he passed away or not, but he did pass away the year Maya was born. Once again, it was from a car accident. I don't know if he caused either accident or, if he was hit. I don't know. It just said car accident. So, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up now. Unfortunately, like when Maya was diagnosed with mental illness, her mother stopped everything, and she became a relentless advocate for mental health issues, people with mental health issues. Unfortunately, when she passed away, she and Maya, their relationship, they were estranged from each other. But anybody, whoever speaks on her, including Maya, talked about how, she was very passionate with whatever it is she took on, be it one of her books or whatever Maya or other people were going through. It is so much so that in 2008, Pennsylvania declared the whole month of July as the Bebe Campbell Mental Health Awareness Month. And Maya, okay, it didn't really talk about her relationship with either one of her parents, but like Bebe Moore was diagnosed in February 2006 with brain cancer. On November 27th of 2006, she passed away. Her father, Tico Campbell, passed away in 2012. And so here Maya is at age 49. Both parents are deceased. I don't know what type relationship she had with her father, but I do know that her stepfather, because at the time of her mother Bebe's death, Bebe and her husband Ellis had been married 21, 22 years, and he still looked after after Bebe passed away. I don't know what type of relationship they have now, and I don't know what type of a relationship she has with her brother, because he didn't come up other than to say that Gordon brought a son to the marriage or anything. So, yes, books by Bebe Moore Campbell. Like I said, I am reading the book Brothers and Sisters. It's really good. If it's something you all have heard of and you haven't read yet, but maybe you've heard talk about it, if you'd like me to, let me know, and I'll do a video for that book. It's a pretty lengthy book, but it's a fast-moving book, so you don't really focus on the time because the story is that good. That book centers on like black and white relationships with one another and sexual harassment, and about the job disparity between different races of people. But it's in a novelist form, so it's like you're talking to a friend or whatever. So, but I have added to my list singing in the comeback choir, Your Blues Ain't My Blues, and that's the book about Emmett Till when he was deleted as a child. But it's on that list. And then there's another book I have of her. Oh, Sweet Summer. That's the tale of Bebe growing up with and without her father. So, yeah, I have those on my list. I am glad I ran across her when I did. And I learned more about who she was as a person. All I had to do was decide I wanted to do another about the author segment, and I'm glad I did, because it introduced me to someone I'd never heard of before, and I wish she was still here. She seems like she had a lot to offer, and anyone who benefited from anything she did learned a lot from her, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, Book Connectors, this wraps up this session of about the author, Bebe Moore Campbell. Subscribers, thank you so much for being subscribed. Visitors, thank you for stopping by to watch the video. Feel free to join us. And everyone, please do not forget to like, share, comment respectfully, and make sure your notification bells are turned on and set to all so you'll know whenever I drop another video. And in the meantime, Book Connectors, remember this. As long as there are books around, there is always something to read. And until we read again, Book Connectors, be safe out there. Have a wonderful work week. And God bless.